Neil Flores, and he's got the unofficial awards. So, eto, bago, how did you come up with the awards?
Hindi to stats-based.
Hindi to stats-based.
It's not stats-based. It's based on their moments on the floor.
Okay, I like this.
Walang
Okay.
numbers, no?
Okay.
Just
I'll
to
mention,
make
we
it
will
clear.
mention the player, you mention the award, and explain why. So
okay,
let's
okay.
start with Mitch Gumabao.
Okay, so Michelle Gumabo, I gave her the Trump Card Award.
Okay.
Because with the emergence of Tots Carlos, she really came off the bench for most of the time in some of the conferences. Pero nagulat tayong lahat. At this conference, she was a starter. And come the semifinals, she went back to her original role as a player who came off the bench. But in those crucial junctures of that final set, she really had a couple of points there that set Creamline to victory. Kaya I would say that she was the secret weapon of Creamline.
What I liked about her game, as of late, having covered her for the past few months in this span, it feels like she's taking up so many different roles at different times, and yet always productive no matter what role she got into.
Always productive and always efficient.
Exactly.
Remember, Neil, we always talk about her efficiency. Isa lang yung gagawin niya, pero isang tama.
That's correct.
Yeah. So
Okay.
next one, we have Vanny Gandler.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is the Rookie of the Year award.
Oh, naman.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
Vanny
yeah,
Gandler.
Why don't we have a
Yeah,
Rookie
oo
of the
nga
Year
eh.
award, right?
Maybe we can
Why
actually
not?
recommend that to the
Right,
organizers of the
right.
PVL. But Vanny Gandler back-to-back
Yeah.
podium finishes for the Signal HD Spikers. And we saw some rookies struggle a bit in their first conferences. But si Vanny really found her home dito sa Signal HD. It looks like she really has that wonderful connection with Jel Cayuna. She's always in the, not always, but most of the time in the 20-point category. And ito yung squad na may Ces Molina. Ito yung squad na may Riri Meneses
At
and
nagkaroon pa
Jovelyn
ng Rachel
Gonzaga.
Dakis
Yeah.
yung
Yeah.
last conference.
So, for you to be able to hold yourself accountable in your squad and to help them with the numbers that you put up, that's a very big feat for Vanny Gandler.
Two things I'm thinking about when I think about the Rookie of the Year award. One is, we already saw glimpses, di ba, ng
Yeah.
invitational. But the leap she made is tremendous from one conference to another. The other one is, when you mention all of the hot rookies that came in this year, you would not pick, and this is no disrespect to her,
Yeah.
but the superstars that came in this year, di ba, yung mga Faithness Peros, yung mga AL, Vanny was the one that nangibabaw in terms of that award that you gave out. So, props to her. Just the personal work, I'm sure, that she put on.
Yeah, and I just want to end it with a quote here that she actually gave. She says, and I quote, "It is my first year here and barely halfway to what I can do." Future MVP, Neil?
Definitely.
And
Can bet
she's
on
gonna
it.
be a finisher too.
Yeah.
Nakikita natin yung finishing capabilities niya, which leads us to the next award.
Speaking of finishing,
The best of the ever right now.
this
really.
is the most predictable one. Eliza Valdez.
The Clutch Queen
There you
Award.
go.
Di ba? Para we say that 100 times every time we
Yeah.
cover the Creamline games.
And 100 times you're correct.
And
Yeah.
we are correct. Most of the time in game 2 of the final, she really struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But come the 5th set, she scored 4 or 5 points. And we know that Eliza will always finish for the Creamline Cool Smashers. Kahit na hindi maganda yung laruin niya in the first few sets, come the 5th, you can bet that Coach Sherwin will call on jersey number 2.
Right. And we said this on the air a couple of times, Neil. With Eliza now, it's not how many, it's when.
when.
And boy, that stage that she was on
Yeah.
the last game, yun na yun yung win.
Last 2 points of to win that championship, and
Five in the
five in the last set. And she was getting blocked over and over again, and she still pounded it over and over.
Right.
It was insane to see.
Wonderful.
All right.
Next name.
All right, the next name, Maddie
Maddie.
Matayag.
Comeback queen.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
finals MVP pag nanalo ang
If they won.
If they won.
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
we
If they
talked
won,
about
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
I
right.
was very sure that she was gonna bag that award if
No
they won
question, no
game
question.
2 and game number 3. But Maddie has come a long way. It's very inspiring to see injuries. I mean, yung ACL injuries from our athletes, and then they come back and then they play even better.
Yeah.
And yun yung sinasabi nila, sometimes the players who suffer from ACLs mas lumalakas pa after rehab.
Some of
And,
them, correct,
She transformed into her peak. Lalo na kung naalala nyo pa yung mga performance niya during college.
Of course.
Yeah.
parang bumalik siya dun eh. And she was really the top player for me sa Choco Mucho ng final series.
Right. Other than Cici Rondina, obviously she. And Pao, remember we had her and Dante Alinsunurin after the Vietnam stint, and we already sensed the confidence when we asked her, "Are you over the injury?" And she says, "It's gone."
Yeah.
To her, it's a memory now. Mentally, nothing. She's ready to go. This conference, remember, she said, and look at what she did.
Yeah, the mental part of it, I think, is what's most impressive. Because, you can always get their body right, but mentally, and doing the things that got you injured in the first place, syempre, getting over that's difficult.
So happy for her.
And this one, I want to name the award, and I want you to name the player, because this, honestly, was such a beautiful thing to watch throughout the conference. Most Improved Award.
I gave that to Dina Wong, the setter of the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. You can see how paano siya nag-pivot from that 7th place, multiple finishes, to this run to the finals. And yung polished connection niya with each of her attackers, I think they worked extra during the off-season. During the tournament itself, ang daming adjustments na ginawa ni Coach Dante. And sometimes she would get temperamental in their games. But now, I guess, namamanage niya kahit papano.
I like that you mentioned that temperamental thing, because that has been, what has been talked about. But I think that's also the effect of Dante Alinsunurin on her. Don't you think so? And their coaching staff.
She's very calm this season compared to the other season. She doesn't get rattled.
Right.
And I guess that is the confidence of Coach Dante, na bibigyan niya ng allowance yung player na magkamali, and bibigyan niya rin ng opportunity na makabawi.
Saka yung boses ni Coach Dante and his approach.
It's always uplifting.
Yes.
There's a sense of maturity in that group and in that team. And
Love
I think,
this.
Dina
Love
was
this list.
big part. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great list. Unfortunately, unofficial. Pero official sa atin dito.
We should post this list.
100%. I'm game for that. And then I'll put Neil's face at the bottom. Para all the comments will be directed to Neil. All right, so we're not done with you yet, because we'll wrap things up with the premier events.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all the time. Download Pilipinas Live now.